At Cain's chateau in the south of France, the Newmans sit on the train car with Sharon. Nicky can't believe they are stuck there. Nick had no idea that rain could wipe out the roads and tracks. Victor tries to order a helicopter, but there's no signal. Nicky is starting to suspect this was all planned. Nick can't imagine why, but Victor thinks it's a plan to wear them down. Nicky declares that Cain can't hold them all there until they sell Chancellor. Victor is confident that this is all part of a backup plan, but he doesn't know what that is. They speculate on whether Cain's plan involves other guests. Nick wonders if Billy might be involved. His father swiftly dismisses this, sure that Billy Boy is happy just enjoying free booze and that won't impress Cain. Nicky ponders whether Lily could be out for revenge on them for pushing her out. Victor doubts it. Nick points out that Lily seemed disgusted to see Cain. Nicky knows that can be faked. Cain is a master con man and could have charmed Lily into doing his bidding. All I'm telling you is we've got to keep our eyes open, Victor urges. He suggests that Cain could be using Jack and Diane, which is even more treacherous. Nicky's unconvinced and wishes they were home. She'd feel much less anxious. Phyllis arrives and declares that they are all trapped in paradise together. Enjoy the free croissants, Nicky says. Phyllis plans to enjoy everything. She's been stuck in worse places. Nicky makes it clear they're all eager to leave. Phyllis would be happy to be stuck there for months. Cain has been a prince since they arrived. When Nicky objects, Phyllis calls her the enemy of fun. Nick guesses Phyllis has talked with Cain. She claims they had a productive discussion. Nicky wonders why her future would have anything to do with Ashby. They all squint at Phyllis, who explains that she had few prospects in Genoa City, but Cain seems to think she could be an exciting addition to his empire. When they ask what that means, she's vague, so they guess she hasn't been offered a real job. Phyllis brags that Cain is excited to do business with her. Victor says she never learns. This is all empty promises. Phyllis thinks Victor is just concerned that Cain is rising to his level. The Newman dismisses this, but she insists that Cain will be a powerful force in Genoa City. She plans to be right by his side. This makes Victor smirk, and Nicky look appalled. Once Nicky and Victor clear out, Nick tells Phyllis it's time for him to have a talk with Cain himself. He asks her and Sharon if they will be okay on their own. They promise not to maul one another and insist they get along all the time, like Thelma and Louise, but with a happy ending. After Nick walks out, Phyllis says he's silly, and Sharon says he can't stop being protective. They try some small talk about the weather, and then awkwardly look for something to say. Propping up, Sharon tells Phyllis that it's incredibly stupid of her to trust Cain. This all seems like it could be a diabolical spectacle. Phyllis finds that hard to believe given how long they've known Cain. Even Jill forgave him after he lied. There's just something off about this whole thing, Sharon insists. Cain seems different, and Phyllis could be putting herself in the middle of something. Phyllis admits she's more afraid of never getting another job or being able to dig herself out of the hole she's in. She wonders why Sharon cares so much. Because, Sharon says, we are friends. Phyllis guesses Sharon is trying to protect her like a friend would and thanks her, but she doesn't need protection. She can see the danger signs, but also the opportunities. Sharon compares what's happening to what Martin did to them, but Phyllis thinks they are totally different situations. Trapped is trapped, says Sharon. Phyllis asks how she's coping with this. Sharon isn't having a panic attack or anything, but the similarities are unnerving her. Phyllis says that Cain is not a psycho, just a guy who reinvented himself to build an empire. Maybe he wanted to do that without everyone in Genoa City judging him. It occurs to Sharon that if Cain is playing a game, Phyllis could outsmart him at it. Phyllis thanks her for thinking that. Sharon is sure she could outsmart anyone. Anyone but her, of course. I'm gonna let you win that argument, Phyllis laughs. Sharon thinks maybe they finally are learning to get along. They walk out with their arms around one another. Lily and Damian try to relax by the pool. She says last night was hard. He offers to help relieve the stress by playing another round of Go Fish. They play an imaginary round with no cards until she starts laughing. Cain arrives, assuming they are disappointed that their departure has been delayed. It's funny how the universe works, he muses. pointing to how he hired Damian without knowing he was Nate's half-brother and her friend. "How do you know we're just friends?" she asks, reminding her ex that her personal life is none of his business. After Damian asks his former boss to listen to her, Cain requests 5 minutes alone with Lily. Damian agrees to hit the pool and walks off with a towel. Lily starts the clock. Cain is well aware of the boundaries she set, but he's looking forward to changing her mind about the path she's on. He's determined to get her back on track with him. "You're delusional!" she snaps, insisting she will never take him back. Cain wants time to convince her that his intentions have been pure. Lily declares that will never happen. Cain urges her not to trust Damian. He's taking advantage of her now and will hurt her in the future. She reminds him that he hired that man. Cain points out Damian lied about who he was the whole time. Lily reminds Cain of all his lies. Cain points out that Lily and Devon tried to get Damian to spy on him, so she has no high moral ground in this. He was trying to protect her company. His intentions were always to come home. To her. Lily doesn't know who he is now. He's not the man she fell for years ago, and she doubts he even knows who he is at this point. Cain reminds her of the depth of their love and the vows he made. He recites them, reminding her that he promised to always be her soft place to fall. Lily tells him they are no longer the sappy kids who made those vows. Cain's aware of that, but has never stopped loving her. Lily thinks that's sad since she has stopped loving him. No promises or excuses he makes will change that. Never. Damian returns and asks if she's all right. Lily pulls him into a kiss and then says things are much better. Cain hangs his head and walks. Damian immediately guesses that the kiss was for Cain's benefit, but he's complaining about it. Lily admits it wasn't planned. He offers to oblige her if she needs someone to take one for the team to send her ex a message. He admits that he's wanted to kiss her since he first saw her, but would prefer it if it wasn't an act. She's sorry she didn't give him a heads up, but admits she's also wanted to kiss him. In the maze, Cain runs into Victor and apologizes for the inconvenience caused by the storm. Victor doesn't care about how well stocked the bar is. He and his family want to get out of there. Cain would like to accommodate, but he can't control the weather or the electrical grid. He promises not to bring up Chancellor again. Nikki joins them, and Cain suggests that they enjoy this as a vacation rather than a prison sentence. Once he walks off, Nikki asks when they will be able to leave. Victor doesn't think that will happen for some time. He assumes that all of this has been done for his benefit. It's like Cain wants to prove he's a worthy opponent. If that's his intention, he better bring it on, because he'll go after him twice as far. Sticking around may be the best way to find out what he's after. As he walks in the maze, Cain runs into Nick, who concedes that he is finding all of this baffling. He can't come up with any good reasons why Cain hid his identity while building a massive fortune. Cain explains that some things are as simple as they look. None of this seems simple to Nick. The way Cain has revealed himself seemed designed to make them trust him less. This doesn't surprise Ashby, who still hopes that he will trust that he's been sincere about why he created the Dumas persona and why he wants to come home. Nick still doesn't buy it. He makes it clear that they will have a problem if Cain comes after Nikki and Chancellor. Cain says he made his offer, Victor turned him down, and he's moving on. Nick hopes that's true because he's determined to protect his family, whatever it takes. When Nick asks Cain to assure him he has nothing to worry about, he instead tells him to enjoy his morning and walks off. Victor, Nikki, and Nick find Lily by the pool. They gather she was surprised to learn that Cain was Dumas. She admits she was blindsided, so much so that she hardly has words to describe how she feels. He lied to her just like everyone else. Lily has no idea what's next, but thinks they all need to watch their backs. Victor makes it clear he doesn't want Ashby coming to Genoa City and disrupting their lives. On the train car, Cain approaches Damian as he's pouring coffee. When he asks Damian if he's wondering why he fired him, Damian says it doesn't matter because he's landed somewhere better. Cain urges him to reconsider taking the job at Winters and advises him to stay away from Lily altogether. Damian reminds him that he no longer answers to him and walks away. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching. So let's dive into today's video. Y&R spoiler alert. Here are your teasers for The Young and the Restless for the week of Monday, June 30th to Friday, July 4th, 2025. Be sure to tune in to CBS every weekday to see how everything plays out in Genoa City. Diane warns Kyle about Audra. Chance confides in Abby. Lily forces Amanda to come clean. Nick quizzes Damian about Cain. Holden seizes a new opportunity. Billy makes a promise to Sally. Cain reconnects with someone from his past. Devin and Amanda share a heated exchange. Phyllis stumbles upon valuable intel. Victoria receives unexpected news. Chelsea spots a con job. The walls are closing in on Mariah. Victor stays a step ahead of Cain. On The Young and the Restless, Holden Novak is flying under the radar and could be the biggest threat of them all. Holden Novak came to Genoa City holding onto a big secret. He wasn't who he said he was. Holden began by pretending to be Damian Cain. It turned out that Holden was best friends with Damian, who had been contacted by Nate Hastings, claiming to be interested in hiring him at his family company. Damian suspected something wasn't right and sent Holden in his place to find out what was up. But when Holden came to Nate's apartment, he bumped into Nate's girlfriend, Audra Charles. Neither Holden nor Audra gave one shred of evidence to the viewers that they knew each other quite well, and she knew he wasn't Damian. Eventually, the truth came out, but Audra lied to Nate about her past with Holden, downplaying how intense their relationship actually had been. Holden stayed in Genoa City as Damian figured out his new family dynamics and tried to get closer with Audra. But Damian threw him a curveball when he announced they had both been fired by Aristotle Dumas. Feeling betrayed after overhearing his best friend talk to Lily about him, Holden cut off ties with Damian. However, he remained in town and hinted that he could be interested in working at Audra's new company. He's also gotten to know Claire and seems to have a piqued interest in getting to know her better. While Damian and almost the rest of Genoa City have traveled to Aristotle Dumas' estate in France, Holden got to spend some time with Claire at Society. While they were talking, he mentioned he had gotten a new job at a real estate company and had been busy with some deals around town. That seemed like an odd coincidence for Holden to say, given that Adam was on high alert that someone had been suddenly buying up key property downtown. Holden didn't seem to have his own money, and we're not sure why he would take a vested interest in buying so much commercial property in Genoa City. But pretending to be someone else isn't a quality that would bother him too much, considering he did it himself. Is Holden working with Cain, aka Aristotle Dumas? He'd be a guy no one would suspect was up to anything while Cain holds court in the French Riviera. A new dark chapter is ahead for young and restless Newman family, and what we're referring to has nothing to do with Cain Ashby. Young and restless viewers got nervous when Cole returned home from an extended business trip with a debilitating cough and no energy, but it was what came next that made it all more alarming. At Nikki's birthday party, Victoria's ex-husband and current lover suffered a significant coughing fit and some wooziness whilst on the dance floor with her. Despite insisting that he was on the mend from his mystery ailment, he had also had a dizzy spell at Crimson Lights previously. We should have known something was coming then, when he turned up late to the birthday bash and blamed it on some complications related to this bug he's been battling. Before we knew it, Cole had suffered a setback, and Victoria was hollering for someone to call 911. In typical stubborn male soap character fashion, Cole resisted a trip to see the doctor until even he was forced to admit he couldn't go on like that a minute longer. What followed was both concerning, yet hopeful, as Claire's dad was admitted to a top-notch hospital in Chicago. Surely, things would turn around now that he was under excellent care and being treated with antibiotics. Except, Cole still hasn't come home, and when Victoria and Claire met up with Nate whilst in Genoa City to collect a change of clothes, it was revealed that he'd been diagnosed with Legionnaire's disease. This, of course, is a potentially fatal form of pneumonia. The key here, however, is that it's more successfully treated if caught early. Given how long Cole resisted being treated, first quarantining himself in a suite at the athletic club, and then refusing Victoria's multiple attempts to get him to return to the hospital to be assessed, sadly, he may have signed his own death warrant. Indeed, in the preview for next week, we see him informing Claire and Victoria that it's time to say their goodbyes. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, June 30th, reveal that Cain Ashby will move forward with plans for another very special evening at his chateau in Nice. There'll be more complaints about getting trapped on the property after the storm, but Cain will certainly find ways to entertain all his guests. Y&R's been playing up Cain's itinerary and all the mysteries that are still left to unravel when it comes to his party plans. Aristotle Dumas's real identity has been exposed, but that doesn't mean the surprises are over. Cain should reveal another one as this special evening plays out, and that should bring more opportunities for one-on-one meetings as well. Since Cain promised to meet with each partygoer personally and answer any questions, it may be time for Jack Abbott to sit down with Cain soon. Cain may assure Jack that when it comes to the Abbott-Newman feud that's going on, he's Team Abbott. Although Cain wants Victor Newman to believe he's given up on Chancellor, that's far from the case. Cain might even seek some help from Jack as he works on a new strategy that could benefit them both. Of course, Michael Baldwin also suspects he may be part of whatever Cain's plotting. Now that Michael is no longer working for Victor, Cain may hope he can take advantage of the severed loyalty. However, Cain may want to be careful about how much he spills. Michael still cares about Victor, and may be tempted to warn him if he gets updates on anything shady. Over with Amanda Sinclair and Devin Winters, they'll get into a heated argument soon enough. Devin won't be pleased over Amanda enabling Cain's deception, and will wonder if this whole party is his way of distracting them from the bigger picture. Amanda will make it clear that even if Devin is right, she doesn't owe her ex any hints or explanations about what Cain's up to. There's no reason for Amanda to blab anything to Devin, so she'll prove she's loyal to her boss instead. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Devin will be convinced that more disturbing news awaits, so stay tuned for Cain's upcoming moves. Cain got served a steamy slice of karma. Well, Young and the Restless fans, Lily is not playing games, and neither are we after that juicy June 27th episode. A poolside friendly hangout between Lily and Damian turned into a full-blown moment that set off fireworks, not just in the Genoa City sun, but in Cain's chest too. Let's dive into the drama and unpack why that kiss might just be the power move of the season. Lily and Damian were all laughs and lounging until Cain decided to crash the pool party with a mix of regret, warnings, and what some might call wishful thinking. He sauntered in with the whole funny how the universe works speech, clearly clocking the chemistry between his ex and the man he used to employ. But when he demanded to know what was going on, Lily shut him down real fast with a bold, "My personal life is none of your business." And honestly, that should have been the end of it. But Cain, ever the smooth talker when it's convenient, wanted 5 minutes alone to pour his heart out. He waxed poetic about lost love, pure intentions, and how he lost himself. Lily, however, remained stone cold. She's not here to play nursemaid to a man who's only now realizing what he gave up. She reminded him of the lies, the betrayal, and that she has no intention of circling back. Then came the dagger, and no, it wasn't from Cain. It was from Lily, and it landed straight on Damian's lips. That kiss? It was fire. In front of Cain, without hesitation. Talk about reclaiming your power. Whether it was strategic or spontaneous, Lily pulled one heck of a boss move, and Cain walked straight into the metaphorical maze of his feelings. Alone. Now some fans might argue Lily was using Damian to send a message. But here's the kicker. She admitted the kiss wasn't just about Cain. She's clearly intrigued by Damian. He's more than game to step into her world, especially now that Cain's clearly out. Damian is confident, charming, and unbothered by Cain's puffed-up warnings. In fact, Damian's reply to Cain's threats was basically, "Boy, bye." Lily kissing Damian wasn't just about romance. It was about reclaiming control. She reminded Cain, and the audience, that she's not the same woman who used to wait around for love to get its act together. She's choosing herself, her instincts, and maybe, just maybe, a future that includes Damian. "Oh, it's on now in Genoa City!" Cain walked away licking his wounds. But don't think for 1 second he's done. This is Cain Ashby we're talking about. He may be down, but he's never out for long. That kiss didn't just bruise his ego, it shattered it. And if history's any clue, he won't sit back and watch Damian move in on Lily without throwing some major shade or sabotage. Could Cain use his old tricks to dig up dirt on Damian, or will he play the long game and try to win Lily back with charm and emotional manipulation? Either way, a storm is brewing. As for Lily and Damian, don't be fooled into thinking that kiss is the end. Lily's walls may still be up, but Damian clearly made an impression, and his cool confidence might be exactly what she needs right now. He's bold, unbothered, and doesn't come with Cain-level baggage. If Cain keeps pushing, he might just drive Lily straight into Damian's arms, for real this time. So get ready, because this love triangle is heating up fast, and we could be looking at a full-on war for Lily's heart, with no mercy and no rules. Lily just gave us a sizzling summer spark, and something tells us this triangle is only getting hotter. Meanwhile, Mariah's feeling the heat, while Adam attempts to cause a little chaos. Next week on Y&R, The Young and the Restless spoilers for June 30th, July 4th. Focus on heated arguments, forced confessions, and impending meltdowns. Amanda has to put out a couple of fires next week, when she has to face Lily and then Devin for a powerful 1-2 punch. The first interaction promises to be a bit volatile. After all, Lily has not been happy to find out that Aristotle Dumas is her ex-husband, the father of her kids, Cain Ashby. Every second of the last 6 years has been a lie as far as she's concerned, and now Amanda pops back up in Genoa City working for Cain? Lily isn't having it. She knows that Amanda knows a lot more than what she's fessing up to. Look for Lily to get through to the normally impenetrable Amanda when she forces Amanda to come clean. What info will she admit to or confess? Everybody knows that Cain's up to something in Genoa City, and those plans have remained secret thus far. Amanda doesn't get much of a break before she has to go toe-to-toe with her ex, Devin. The vibe here will be just as intense as Lily and Amanda's conversation will be. Undoubtedly, Devin is in full protect Lily mode, so look for Devin and Amanda to share a heated exchange. In other news, Mariah has walked away from her marriage to Tessa, for now anyway. She has a lot to deal with, specifically figuring out how to cope with whatever she did on that solo work trip. Well, it feels like things are going to get worse before they get better, because the walls are closing in on Mariah. What does that look like? How worried should we be? At the end of next week, Adam makes a surprise appearance at the party. Which party is this? Is this the nice shindig? If this is what's it all about, will he actually get a one-on-one session with Cain? Or is this just about reaching Victor to talk about the mysterious real estate games being played around GC? When Victoria receives unexpected news, it will have to do with Cole, right? Will he be okay? Meanwhile, Phyllis, that red-headed wildcard that she is, stumbles upon valuable intel. This begs the question, what is she going to do with said valuable intel? She will make it work for her. That we know. Finally, Victor and Nikki are impatient and want to get off the island. But Victor also knows the value of sticking around and seeing what Cain will do next. As for Nikki, she's understandably worried about the future of Chancellor Industries. Does everyone think that Cain will really back off of going after Chancellor? Is Mr. Ashby doing this for Lily and attempting to get payback for how Victor and Nikki lied to her and took over the company while saying she belongs at Winters? The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Friday, June 27th, imply some major moments as Genoa City heads into the weekend. Someone undergoes an interrogation, while 2 guests relive some trauma during a party, and a character makes a bold move. What's set to unravel during Friday's show? Time to find out. The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Friday, June 27th, suggest that Nick Newman will interrogate Cain Ashby. It sounds like Nick wants to know exactly what Cain is up to and what his intentions regarding Chancellor are. Still, will Ashby offer any information? He's keeping his cards close to his chest, so it'll be interesting to see if Cain reveals anything. In other news, Phyllis Summers and Sharon Newman will relive their kidnapping trauma. What could happen at Cain's summer home in France that could trigger this? The soap seems to hint at a murder taking place at some point, and Cain himself mentioned to Chance Chancellor that he was worried about someone attempting to take his life. So will the ladies see something horrific that will cause them to snap? Will they lean on each other or butt heads in the aftermath? Fans will have to tune in to find out. Finally, The Young and the Restless, spoilers for Friday, tease that Lily Winters will make a bold move where Damian Cain is concerned. Will Lily move from the friends zone into something more romantic with Damian? Could she reach in for a kiss, or could the two hit the sheets? Either way, Cain won't be overly pleased. If they do something with the train cabins, Lily's ex-hubby will get a bird's-eye view of it all, as he does have video cameras set up. What will Cain's retaliation be? The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that everyone now knows Cain Ashby is Aristotle Dumas. They also know he's gunning for Chancellor. With that said, how will Jill Abbott react when she finds out what Cain's been up to? The Young and the Restless spoilers remind fans that when Cain first came to town, he lied about his identity, which seems to be a recurring theme in his life, right? Cain pretended to be Philip Chancellor III, Jill's son, as a favor to Philip, who wanted to stay far away from Genoa City at the time. Of course, the truth was eventually revealed, and while Jill and Catherine Chancellor were upset at first, they ended up forgiving and forgetting by almost adopting Cain and welcoming him into the family fold. Jill also had an on-again, off-again romance with Cain's biological father, Colin Atkinson. Will Jill be had to Team Cain when it comes to this Chancellor takeover? Will she feel duped by his Dumas persona, or will she applaud his success? After all, while she was with Colin, she also left him for good as his lies and shenanigans became too much for her. Will she be happy to learn that Cain mended fences with his dad before he passed away? Or will she be skeptical about Cain in light of this fact? Billy Abbott recently stated, Cain could do no wrong in Jill's eyes, so will Cain get a pass for his Aristotle Dumas secret where Jill is concerned? Then again, there's always the possibility she's known about it all along. With that said, if she hasn't, what kind of shocking reaction will she have? One where she's ecstatic about Cain's next move, or one where she'll begrudge his most recent deception? Diane lays some truths on Kyle. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Monday, June 30th, usher in a new month with Lily doing something no one else has managed to do: force Amanda to tell all. Amanda has been claiming lawyer-client privilege where her dealings with Cain are concerned. She's stood up to Victor. She's stood up to Devin. She's stood up to Billy. She's even stood up to Phyllis. Not only are they friends, for some reason, but Phyllis can be a bit much. But who would have guessed it's Lily who manages to get through to her? Could it be because, while Amanda knows Cain has professional plans for the rest, but his personal agenda for Lily is not something Amanda can support? Kyle is not the brightest when it comes to women. He either doesn't realize that Audra is coming on to him, or he realizes and figures, well, how can she not? He must think, I'm irresistible, there couldn't possibly be another motive. Diane, however, is very smart, so she tries to give her son a heads up, without making it obvious, since any suggestion that Kyle might not be completely on top of everything tends to lead him to a temper tantrum, and yet another plot against his family. Abby and Chance spent most of their marriage apart. Now that they're divorced and she's married to somebody else, they're finally remembering why they liked each other in the first place. Chance has a confession to make, and Abby is happy to listen. God knows her actual husband is keeping her out of his wheeling and dealing. Maybe Chance will take her seriously. In the recent episode of the CBS soap opera The Young and the Restless, aired on June 27, 2025, Phyllis Summers stayed in a surprisingly good mood, even though everyone else on the train was tense due to the storm. She joked about her recent meeting with Cain Ashby, but it was clear nothing was confirmed yet. Her upbeat attitude stood out compared to the worried Newman family and a cautious Sharon. At the same time, Cain lost his cool when he saw Lily Winters relaxing by the pool with Damian Cain. He pulled Lily aside and warned her not to trust Damian. But Lily shut him down, made it clear she didn't want him back, and even kissed Damian to prove it. Elsewhere on The Young and the Restless, both Victor and Nick Newman became more suspicious of Cain. He claimed he was moving on after being rejected for a deal with Chancellor, but his constant interference in Lily's life told a different story. Cain even warned Damian to stay away from Lily, but Damian didn't take the threat seriously. While the train was stuck due to the storm, Phyllis stayed cheerful and upbeat, unlike the others. She talked about her meeting with Cain Ashby and made it sound promising, but it was clear nothing was final yet. Later on The Young and the Restless, Sharon spoke to Phyllis in private and shared her concerns about Cain's strange behavior, comparing it to Martin Laurent's mind games. Phyllis brushed it off at first, but appreciated Sharon's concern. The two shared a rare moment of respect, and Sharon admitted Phyllis was smart enough to handle Cain if he was up to something. Near the train, Cain spotted Lily relaxing with Damian and clearly didn't like it. He questioned their closeness, but Lily told him her life was no longer his business. Still, she gave him 5 minutes to speak. Cain warned that Damian was a liar, but Lily called him out for his own lies, especially about Aristotle Dumas. When Cain said he still loved her and wanted her back, Lily told him she didn't feel the same and called him delusional. To make her point, Lily kissed Damian in front of Cain. Later, Damian asked if it was just to upset Cain. Lily admitted it was partly for that reason, but also because she wanted to and she enjoyed it. Cain said he was ready to move on, but he kept trying to convince others. He told Victor he was done chasing the Chancellor deal, but Victor didn't believe it. Cain said the same to Nick, who also didn't trust him. Nick warned Cain to stay away from his family, sensing something was off. Later on the train on The Young and the Restless, Cain tried to convince Damian to stay away from both the Winters job and Lily. He acted like it was advice, but his real intentions were obvious. Damian stood his ground and said he didn't answer Cain anymore. He made it clear he planned to stay close to Lily and the Winters family. Cain's attempt to scare him didn't work.